Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Haley and you're watching Between the Pages. I have a book review for you today, and that is Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco. This is the first in the Kingdom of the Wicked series, I believe is what the series is called. This is also the series that the spin-off Throne of the Fallen, Princes of Sin, whatever that second series is called. So I am going to end up reading that, but of course I want to read these ones first, just to get a basic understanding of the world and characters. So now we're just going to talk about it. Now, for some reason, I don't even know why, but I was under the impression that before I started reading this book, that it took place in Paris. It does not. It takes place in Italy. And I guess I got it confused with, what's Kester Grant's book that I really love? Guild of Thieves? Something like that. I will put it right here because I am totally blanking on the title, which I feel really bad because I really love that book. But that one takes place in Paris and this one takes place in Italy. They came out about the same time, which is probably why I confused them in my mind, thinking that they both took place in Paris. They don't. One's in Italy, one's in Paris, so glad we cleared that up. It's a lot more graphic than I was expecting. I think like when she finds her sister's body, it's like a lot more graphic than I was expecting for a YA. I do know that the second and third books steer more towards like new adult, and it definitely came out around the time that there was a conversation about like how spicy or how graphic young adult novels were at that time. Kind of like when ACOTAR was going through its whole thing where it got rebranded into like adult fantasy instead of young adult fantasy, because when it was first published it was young adult. So I know that the second and third book have a lot more graphic like sexual content, and I think it's mainly because she published this one, the first one, under young adult, and then once they saw how well it sold, she's like, the publisher was like, do what you want for the second one. So I know that the second and third one are a lot more graphic in certain scenes. So I don't know. I have not read the next two. I do have them. They're on my shelf, but I have not read them yet. I got 100 pages in and I was like, I am in love with Wrath and Emilia's banter. I love their banter. Like, they are like right up there with like Jude and Carden levels of banter and how much I love it. But yeah, I love their dynamic. I definitely can't wait to see how this goes in the second and third book. It does have one of my most favorite tropes in it, and that's the, oh no, we're magically bound together and like we had to find a way to break this bond. And I love that trope. I'm a sucker for it. I don't know why. I don't know where it stems from, but I love that trope, and I get so excited when I see it in books. And then also I love how Wrath is like, I wouldn't want you for the last creature on this earth. And I'm like, ooh, oh, we know when a love interest says that they are definitely end game and are going to end up together. So I was like, yep, I know what's going on. And then also, she meets like 49% of the princes of hell. I know because I mathed it. She meets like 3 out of 7, I believe. Like, she meets Wrath, Lust, and Pride. I know there are 7 because they're all named after the 7 deadly sins. So she's met like 3 out of the 7 of the princes of hell. And I'm like, you have met almost 50% of the princes of hell, and we are in the first book, girl. And like, I know that other books focus on the other princes, so I'm excited to see that. I think that's in the Throne of the Fallen series, which I will get to eventually. But yeah, Wrath is so cute. Like, he kind of has a whole like Ryuk moment. If you like Death Note, and well, if you've been here long enough, you know that I like Death Note. It's one of my favorite animes. Ryuk, the Shinigami, has a thing about apples, and he's like obsessed with apples. And I guess you could kind of say that Castiel from Supernatural is obsessed with White Castle, because he kind of has a thing in like one of the episodes where he's craving White Castle, and it's like his favorite thing ever. But yeah, he has his own kind of thing, and he likes cannolis, which was so cute. He was basically like, I will do anything. Just get me more cannolis. And I just thought it was adorable. I love when you have like sort of kind of alien characters like find a thing that's like very much like a human thing, and they're just obsessed with it, and they make it like their entire personality. I just adore that. And then there's this one character, Antonio. He's like a monk or a priest or something, and he has a thing for Emilia, and he's very much against like demons and the princes of hell and, you know, hellfire and damnation, basically. And I was like, I'm going to scream if it's Antonio who ends up being the killer of Emilia's sister. Spoiler alert, he is. No one saw that coming. But yeah. And then we find out that Emilia and Wrath are bound, as in like bound in marriage, because of the way that she summoned him. She summoned him incorrectly. So when she said like bound, I think it's like something like bound forever or whatever, it didn't mean like our souls are bound until like our bargain is done. Like it's forever. Like they are now basically married in the eyes of hell and everything. So I thought that was really cool, especially when they like figure it out. They both have like the italicized like oh moment, and I just love it. There was a small bonfire scene where they like go and they're trying to find, I forget who they're trying to find, but they end up meeting Lust, which is one of the other princes of hell, like I've mentioned. And it reminded me a lot of Kalanmai from ACOTAR, because she kind of has a thing where she kind of like gets drunk, basically, or like Lust kind of like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like she gets drunk on Lust, basically, and she's like being all sexy and like coming on to Wrath and everything, and it really reminded me of Kalanmai from ACOTAR. Again, I don't know if Kerri Maniscalco was kind of inspired by that scene in ACOTAR or what, but that's all I could think of when I saw that. I am very interested to see how the sequel goes, because she is currently married to Pride, one of the other princes of hell, because he like has to marry a witch to like fulfill this prophecy, break a curse, whatever, you know, the typical fantasy, romantasy fare. So yeah, I'm really interested to see how that's gonna work out, because I'm like, okay, so she's technically Pride's wife now. So is Wrath just gonna be like the sexy side piece? So I'm really interested to see where the sequel goes. But yeah, that is my rambly review for Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!